I was pretty much afraid of everything, afraid of the world, afraid of speaking, really, really shy kid. Music was a way to speak, as simple as that. I could either just journal, write poetry, write just whatever was in my head, and sit down, strum a few chords, and put that together. And that's me. That's me telling the world about me when I can't do it on my own. So music was the voice I didn't have. There was a kid in my high school, Downey High, who was in the jazz band, who was selling his guitar. He had I think it was a 69 SG with the tremolo. And he wanted to sell it. He said, "You want it?" And I said, "Yeah." "How much you want?" He said, $200. So I begged my mom and, did chores, did whatever I could. And she said, yeah. She bought me my first real guitar. And then, of course, once you got a guitar, you got to join a band. So I started hanging out with some kids at school that loved playing music. And it was a cover band called Obsession, a bunch of guys in my grade. And we'd just end up at their house after school playing. Black Sabbath was the band that just totally lit me up. So heavy, so moving. I sunk right into that. I could close my eyes and be in there. Me and a buddy growing up in school, John Zander was his name, we would try and top each other, every day. Like, hey, look what I learned. And then, oh, well, look what I got. And like, oh, damn. And I'd go back and learn something else. And then he'd go, ah. So the great, high school competition, got us to another level, which was great. And then at some point it was like, wow, the guys I'm playing with, I need to play with better players. And I was writing, I wrote some songs. They didn't like them. They just wanted to play covers. And then I kind of decided, well, I got to start playing with other people. So right then I kind of knew that I was on a quest. I wanted to get better. And some friends didn't understand that. They just, why don't you, just hang out with us? And I was on a quest to go places. I think it was my sophomore year, I went back to high school the summertime to gear up to start playing football again. And I had long hair at that point, and the coach said, "You have to get a haircut." And I said, "Yeah, but Eddie Van Halen's got long hair, and Michael Schenker's got long hair. I want to play football and have long hair. You can't do it." So right then, it was one of those forks in the road that was pretty pivotal in my life that I had no clue about. And I kind of just said, well, screw this. Do I want to be second strings, playing football, or do I want to be up on stage, with a mission, speaking through music? I didn't know it at the time, but it was pretty much the right choice. I don't think it really hit me until probably after high school, where I realized, wow, I got to start thinking about what I want to do. I'd be working at the sticker factory, cutting stock and just thinking of riffs or lyrics or something. At lunchtime, I'd be out in the car with my guitar, writing some riffs, and oh shoot, I got to get back to work. Then after work, show the riffs that I had written, and we did our first gig, and then it was kind of like, I think I want to quit my job. I want to start playing music, and there was no other option. That's kind of how it was. When I think the first time, hey, we're going to New Jersey to sign up, or one of the first things, like we're going up to San Francisco to play a show. Oh my God! And then, hey, we could sign up with this manager. He's talking about going to Europe and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, whatever. Trying to act cool, but inside I'm freaking out, flipping. Like this is happening. This is really happening. And all of us are friends and we get to do what we want. That's amazing. And every step of that way has been a little more of it. Every day we wake up, there is that reminder again that, dude, you get to do what you want to do and create. And it's sustaining you, it's sustaining your family. It's an amazing gift. So for us to keep track of that, there was certainly a time when it got out of control. The Black Album tour, out for a long time. I mean, that was the album. There was multiple divorces, lots of egos, swollen to, no one was right-sized anymore. Everyone was bigger than they should have been. But at the end of the day, when you look at this career is bizarre. People saying they respect you for your music, but then the validation that you get out there, it's unreal. It's like a fantasy. It's like these people think you're something more than you really are. So you got to stay grounded. It's like, God, I'm human, So something comes back again and knocks you back down and to reality, And you realize that I have a gift of playing music. That's what I got. I grew up listening to guitar players. Mostly, I loved rhythm guitar players. Obviously, Tone Iommi is a big influence on most metal guitar players, and obviously the riffs, the single note riffs, and they sounded fat. When you analyze the sound, it's not really fat sounding. It's got an edge to it that cuts. So for me, getting that at first, like on the first albums, then it grew more into a depth. I wanted to play drums on guitar pretty much. So I wanted a really percussive sound. So one that really reacts quickly and is punchy, but also if you hang on a chord, it's going to fill the room. And I wanted a Les Paul shape that was a little lighter, a little more roadworthy. This has a little cutout for me. I like to wear my guitars pretty low. This is got a little more sharpness to it. I can get up a little higher, even though you don't want to hear me solo. I've tested probably, I think we went through about 30 different kinds of poles, different kinds of windings, different kinds of metals. I wanted the traditional look, but also have an active pickup. So combining passive and active together, smooth distortion, but with some aggressive mids, and that some of the passive pickups have, they're a little more focused in the mids and they're pushy, which I like. But the warmness and the wideness of the active pickup. So combining those two together was the challenge. And that's what I want in a guitar sound, but not abrasive, not something that's gonna give you, complete ear fatigue, after a concert. I think being on stage is a different hat. It's a different mindset. It's a different space. It's, to me, time stops. There's no pain. It's like, when artists talk about being in the zone, that is the zone. I could get in that zone even here, just sitting playing and forget you guys are here. Somehow the world goes away. Whether that's good or bad, it's difficult to come out of sometimes. But, that's the curse of it. But the blessing is there is that focus and there is that sense of purpose, sense of being, sense of communication, sense of creation. That's a reason. That's a reason I'm here. There's times when I I haven't played for a couple weeks, and my wife will say, God, you're grumpy. Go play guitar. It's like, oh yeah. And I'll go and I'll play, and then, oh, I feel better now. It's just what it is. It's a part of me. It's like I gotta have it, you know? It's my coffee in the morning too. And it's my chill in the evening. The music just makes us do things that we normally wouldn't do. I mean, I'm not gonna be jumping around here, you know, screaming in people's faces, you know, by the power of some riff coming out of this amp, you know. It's just kind of unfriendly, really. It's rude. Downright rude, but that's what we get to do on stage. We get to express the music out of every pore, out of every part of us. Most things in life that are worthwhile, you got to work at. You got to work at. You get out what you put in. As simple as that. That's a kind of a universal law. So yeah, it's not pick up the guitar and go ha ha, which I've done, you know, in front of the mirror lots. You know, hey, I'm really good, and you got to have that attitude too. But it does take work. It does take you know, some dedication. You know. But if you love doing it, it's not as hard as it could be if you're doing something that's you're not as interested in. There's nothing more inspirational than me plugging in to an amp that's dialed to my sound and turning it up. There's just nothing more inspirational. I could write 20 riffs just like that if it's passing through me, you know. There's just stuff coming through. I do believe that, you know, to keep what you got to give it away. And so to show up, you know, doing benefit type things, helping others with the gift that we have. You know, we've got all we need. We've got more than enough that we need. So to give back, for sure. You know, Little Kids Rock is something that I'm involved with. Just played a gig down south and raised $250,000. This is unbelievable. Bringing instruments into public schools where music programs are cut. I think if there's a kid out there that's got that gift or just needs a little something, whatever it may be, you know, if it's that $5 guitar at the swap meet that shows up for somebody else somewhere else, and I've helped with that, it's a good feeling. That's a better feeling than most of the other feelings on this planet.